of the British Open Championship. But first, a look at her coach in action. That's Jonah Barrington playing in the over-35s final against Ahmed Safwat of Egypt. We join the match at 2-all, and in the fifth and final game, Barrington leads 7-2. The commentator is Stuart Story.
This capacity crowd at the Wembley Conference Centre enjoying the climax of this marvellous squash battle in the over-35 category between Jonah Barrington and Ahmed Safwat. Barrington, 6 times winner of the British Open, poised to take this title, having been very close to defeat in the fourth. He had match point against him at one stage.
7-2.
7-2 then, Jonah Barrington from the right court. And Safwat, a very, very tired man indeed, and Barrington, the man who always rested on fitness, has made that fitness tell here. And the clenched fist says, this is it.
8-2, match ball.
Match ball then to Jonah Barrington. So close to defeat and now poised. Safwat asking for let and being given let, unable to get to the ball there. And the marker indicating that Safwat has yet another chance. Still match ball. And will the tiredness draw the error? The Egyptian has played well here, but not having taken that chance in winning the fourth game, allowed Jonah Barrington to bring it back to 2-all now in this fifth game. An hour and 3/4 after the start. Tremendous lob to the back court, good length. And that's it. Barrington, 6 times winner of the British Open, has come good here, and my goodness me, this crowd have appreciated that. 43 years old, later this month, Jonah Barrington. And Safwat came so close. But the best squash player that Britain has ever produced has come through here in this over-35-year category. And so yet another British Open title to this prodigious, remarkable player. Barrington known to every fan in this stadium, and how they've enjoyed that.
2-9, 9-6, 10-8, 9-2.
Jonah Barrington has given his all.
I'm watching that. Lisa Opie, the world junior champion and the world #2 at senior level, and Jonah's your coach, of course. Did you see the match live at the time?
No, I missed probably most of the match. I saw the first couple of games. I was popping in and out because I was sort of warming up in between, trying to get ready for my match, but I didn't actually see the end of the match.
Tremendous performance by Jonah, because he was 2 love down, wasn't he?
Yes, he was 2 love down, and but he has been training very hard, and he's very, very fit. He's about the thinnest I've ever seen him, and he came back and won.
Yes, at 43, though, he's retained his fitness remarkably well. I mean, in the old days, he used to exist a great deal on fitness.
Yeah.
He still does, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's, I mean, I see him training up there with Bomber Harris, who's been training him for 20 years now, and he's still very, very fit.
Does he work you hard?
Yes, very hard. I think now it's going to be twice as hard.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at your final now against Susan Devoy of New Zealand. And, of course, you got yourself into a bit of trouble in this, didn't you?
Yeah.
We joined the final in the first game, and Lisa Opie is 4-5 down.
Let ball.
Let ball, 4-5.
Quite a few let calls in these finals. The players being given the benefit of the doubt frequently. I think there are 10 let calls so far overall.
Handout, 5-4.
So 5-4 with that handout. Devoy, of course, dropped only 1 game and 37 points in her 5 matches in this championship so far, so they're pretty impressive figures. Both girls varying the length and pace of shot, using the boasts off the side walls. And that was an attempted kill there by Lisa Opie, but didn't quite come off. And another query of let.
Hand out.
And
4-5.
the two officials not giving that one on that occasion. That let call. Bob Johnson and Thea Johnson, man and wife, of course. Two officials, the referee and marker. Behind the players in the crowd.
Done.
Little drop shot attempt in the corner. That was something that came off very well against Rhonda Thorne, the Australian, in the semi-final. And now it's 5-all. First game of a scheduled match over 5 games. Susan Devoy taking the Briton to the front, then to the back of the court. And of course, all that is energy sapping. Lisa Opie boasting out of the corner.
Okay, let ball.
And let ball again.
Let ball. 5-all from the left.
Let ball.
So 5-all. Calm prevails at the moment. Of course, all of the crowd in the background there, all expert referees and markers deciding how they would have called that. Superb boasting movement from Lisa Opie there, and the lob to the back of the court. And that lob, a characteristic of Jonah Barrington's play, one has to say that, and that may well be another influence.
6-5.
6-5 and service. So this is a very, very good phase of play by Lisa Opie. Started off very slowly, was 1-5 down, and now has come back. And that really is showing class. I suppose most players in a final of this quality would have panicked being 1-5 down in an early stage to go out of that glass door at the back, or perspex door I should say, with that one going down. But Opie really has shown tremendous mental fortitude here.
7-5.
I think a let call.
Let ball.
Yes, indeed.
7-5.
7-5 the score then. Lisa Opie of Britain
Quiet, please.
leading after being 1-5 down for a long time in this first game, and now has come back against the New Zealand number 1. And attitudes on court have changed tremendously. And Opie has shown
8-5,
tremendous
game ball.
patience, and most people, I suppose, would have panicked, but she didn't. And that augurs well. It's the first real chance she's had of taking this British Open title, and that's the first game, and she did it from what was quite a large margin, and a margin that looked as though it was going to get wider. So 1-0 to Lisa Opie.
Well, after that fight back, Lisa Opie lost the second game to Love, and we now join the vital third at 7-all.
Losing 9-love the second game, now it's 7-all. Opie. At one stage she was looking across in despair at Jonah Barrington outside of the court. Now she's quite happy, as one would expect. And she's making the New Zealander go for the attacking shots.
7-all.
And with that let ball, 7 shots. Very close drop shots at the front, but Opie unable to get that one.
Hand out.
Well, Barrington
7
must
all.
be a little happier, but he must be very much on edge, because this very vital game, very much in the balance. Good boasting movement from Devoy.
8-7, game ball.
Game ball. Vital for Opie, but vital for both girls, one has to say that. Opie needs the service back, and Devoy needs this to win this third game, and stroke she gets. She got the stroke.
Game to Miss Devoy, 9-7.
Miss Opie,
Well,
if I see you do that again, it's a game against.
the referee has warned Lisa Opie for a gesture as she left the court because she wasn't awarded the let, but she was stroke against her, and he has threatened to award the game against her, and a little bit of controversy. Well, it's frustration coming out, but that is part of the game, discipline, and Jonah Barrington will be telling her just that. Don't do it again would be his instruction.
10 seconds.
Bryce Taylor,
Time.
little smile. This girl came out of that well. She was on the way to losing that third game, having had complete control at 7-1. And then Lisa Opie, well, allowed the thing to escape. "15 minutes the last game lasted.
Miss Devoy leads 2-1. Fourth game.
Well,
Lovell.
Bob and Theo Johnson having given a very firm warning indeed to Lisa Opie for the gesture as she came off court after losing the third game, settling down for this fourth game. It really was an unnecessary gesture, as the final call for let, in fact, was given as stroke against
Let
Miss
ball.
Opie,
Lovell.
and she made no mistake in informing the referee and marker exactly how she felt. Not necessary, and she was rightly warned. One love to Devoy, leading by 2-1. And of course, victory in this fourth game for Miss Devoy would give New Zealand their first ever British Open title in the women's category. Well, Opie has the reputation of enjoying going for winners, but she has played a stylish game in many senses. She's lobbed the ball, she's of good length, and she's changed the direction of the ball consistently. Both girls have played well.
Stroke to Miss Devoy.
Another stroke to Miss Devoy. 2-love. And the followers of Susan Devoy from that Oasis club in Marlow must be hoping, deep in thought most of them, must be hoping that that victory
3-love.
on the one hand ought to go to Great Britain, but on the other hand, the girl Susan Devoy is one of their club members. Tremendous hitting now by Devoy, and Opie is losing her cool, that's for sure. She's, in terms of temperament, it was the temperament that she had to control. She did well early on, but even losing 9 love, she showed no real signs of losing her concentration. But now
Your ball's down, Lisa.
there are a lot of stoppages and things are going against her. The ball there considered to be down. 5-love it is, just 4 points away from the title for the New Zealand girl. I wonder... Well, Lisa Opie must surely be feeling that this championship is drifting away from her. 6-0. Well, Jonah Barrington must be very, very unhappy indeed. The girl is coached for the last year, Lisa Opie, in desperate trouble now. Love 6 down in this 4th game and 2 games to 1 down. And really, as Opie, who lost the 2nd game 9-love, looked as though she was coming back in the 3rd and then lost it, and has lost her discipline too since then. The New Zealand girl, who's got a great deal of British support in this indoor arena, has played so well. So, a first point for the Briton, Lisa Opie. Favourite and #1 seed for this title before it began. But now she's fighting for her life in this 4th game, which could be the last. She has to win this to stay in the championship. And this game has only been going 6 minutes and she's 6-1 down.
Hand out. 6-1.
So, Devoy attempting to become the first New Zealand girl to win this British Open title. It's her first appearance in these championships. She's never been further than the 3rd round on previous occasions, and only recently took over the New Zealand #1 spot from Robin Blackwood, but my goodness me, she showed great fortitude here. 1-6, the service for once with the Briton in this game. Oh. Now.
Calm down, ladies. It's a let ball.
Well,
Let ball.
a friendly little warning from Bob Johnson. Perhaps
1-6.
some friendly advice. The referee just saying, calm down, ladies. It's getting a little heated, as one might expect, in this very difficult final. Both girls 20 years old. Really must stay playing positive squash here. She mustn't let Opie get the rhythm back. And of course, from the point of view of Lisa Opie, she has got to force the pace just a little bit. Drop shot so well, and that was a beautiful piece of play by Susan Devoy.
And out. 6-1.
So 6-1, just 3 points away from this British Open title for Susan Devoy.
Out.
And Opie's gone, I think. She's really lost all
7-1.
concentration and she can't get back her composure. Having lost the previous 2 finals, could she be en route to her 3rd defeat?
Level.
Australian was responsible for the previous 2 defeats, and I wonder now whether the New Zealander will be the next. Good boasting movement by Devoy. She has used the court well. She's used the hard driving shots, the long rangy drop shots, as you can see, and varied her play tremendously, which on occasions has caught out Lisa Opie, and she hasn't been allowed a rhythm in this match really. So
8-1. Match ball.
8-1 match ball. So this is the one. First Open Championship, is it, to New Zealand? Yes, it is. Opie has thrown her racket into the crowd. A very disappointed and unhappy young lady, but Susan Devoy of New Zealand, appreciated by this capacity crowd. And look at that. Members of the Oasis Club from Marlow in Butt saying, you're the number one. And what a marvellous, marvellous performance it was. Very workmanlike, if one can use that word. And Susan Devoy of New Zealand has done it, has won the title on her very first appearance.
Well, Lisa, you got into a lot of trouble about that. The V sign to the referee, throwing the racket away at the end. How much of that was self-disgust?
Well, I'd say a lot of it. I started off playing well, and somehow my concentration went. Probably a lot of pressure was on me because I was seeded one for the first time, and a couple of decisions that I didn't agree with, and then I seemed to get annoyed myself.
You were annoyed with yourself and the officials, were you?
Well, obviously at the time it's a lot of pressure, and you think they've done a wrong decision and you are annoyed, but I must say Bob Johnson and Theo Johnson are one of the best referees in England, and I have to apologise to them.
And of course that time you gave him the V sign, it was a crucial point, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was probably the most crucial game. That was in the third. I was 7-1 down and got back to 7-all, and Susan was up 8-7, and then I thought the ball should have been a let, and they gave a stroke against me, but that's how the game goes.
On reflection, the wrong thing to do, obviously.
Oh yes, I mean, I must have offended a lot of people, and I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise, especially to the referee and marker, and to the SRA.
What about when you threw the racket at the end?
Oh, well, at the end of a match, I sort of just lobbed the racket over. It wasn't actually aimed at the crowd or at the referee or anyone. It was just sort of lobbed over the back wall, which isn't very high, and I don't know whether it landed in the crowd or not, but I got it back somehow.
Well, you made McEnroe-type headlines, of course. Now you face discipline. What are they likely to do?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually heard from them yet, but maybe tomorrow or the next week. They normally fine people. In the past, they have fined. I'm not really sure what they'll do.
Well, now, that match was a vital one to you in terms of world ranking. It means Susan Devoy has gone to world number 1 and you remain world number 2.
Yeah.
What have you got coming up in the near future if they do suspend you that might affect that ranking?
Well, they've got the World Championships, which are held every 2 years. They're in Ireland next year, in September. That's the individual event and the team event. They could suspend me from the team playing for England. I wouldn't think the individual, because that's like an individual decision, but maybe the team event.
Well, we saw your coach there. Just a final question, Jonah Barrington, talking animatedly to you.
Yeah.
He obviously wasn't very happy with you.
No, he wasn't. He'd gone on and he played very, very well. He's very fit and he managed to win, but yeah, I think he's very disciplined and wants me to be like him, and obviously I've got to go back and train very hard and work with him.
So when you appear in front of the world, Jahangir Khan and Kamal Zaman, both of Pakistan. We joined the start of the match, and our commentator on the Wembley final